happy Wednesday, everybody. It is I, your hostess with the hottest coffee around, Laurie Calcaterra. I am your hostess of NE1 World Showcase. And on this show, we get to interview the best, the brightest, and the most talented indie creators in the business. That's right. We are all here at NE1 World. Don't you want to come and be with us? We're one big happy family. Last week I interviewed a guest and we talked about apocalypse fiction. And I love that this week's guest, we're doing the same. You know me, I love the apocalypse. That's kind of where my brain lives. So I would like to welcome Malcolm Wong onto the show. Hello, how are you, sir?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very well today. It's morning in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of snow. 2 days ago it was like 70 degrees, and now we had some snow. Seems to have stopped, but very strange weather. It's hot, it's cold.
Is that normal for this time of year for you guys, or?
It's interesting that the cherry blossoms come out usually in March.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we had snow after the cherry blossoms. So we had snow on the cherry blossoms in Tokyo, which is unusual. So
That's not a good thing though, right? Doesn't that mess up the kind of like the cycle or?
well, the cycles are, it's like irregular cycles. And,
Mm.
I think that's due to chemicals and pollution and
Mm.
warming and,
Yeah.
all those things. All
Well,
those things
I'm
that,
on the other side of the world in Texas, United States, and we've had some really weird weather too. Today was 84 in February, and that's February for us is usually when it gets cold.
yeah,
So, I
everywhere
don't know.
in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's just it's weird. Weather has been weird. But let's skip over the weather talk, and I would like to dig into what makes Malcolm Wong tick. Because as a writer, producer, Renaissance man, I would like to hear your origin stories of what got you into comic books.
Well, as a kid, of course, you read comic books, but
Mhm.
what my entry into creativity was through art. And I was in sculpture,
Mm.
and I was through sculpture in university at UMass, and then in University of Hawaii. At the time, uh, contemporary art and conceptual art was the sort of the cutting edge of art, fine
Mhm.
art. And I started getting into film, and I directed music videos in the 80s and 90s. So that tells you how old I am. Very old, ancient.
29. We're all 29 here.
Forever young. And when a friend of ours came to exhibit some of her work in Ginza in Tokyo, after I moved to Tokyo, I did the
Mhm.
music video stuff. After I graduated University of Hawaii, moved to Japan. And one of her travel companions was a fortune teller. And
Oh.
so I was like, oh, how is film and music, and how's that gonna, is that in my future? And then she said, oh, you have a talent in writing, you should write. And this is, again, we're gonna date ourselves. This is a time of word processing. And then I
Mhm.
didn't really start until I got the Mac Classic. It's that little toaster box.
I remember those.
And I started out writing novels, and I had representation in London and New York.
Mhm.
And I would say, fortunately, nothing got published because it was quite on the Jay McInerney kind of American Psycho, probably not great for the spiritual world.
Oh, uh-oh.
To put this out there. It was set in Japan. It was like, Yakuza and strippers and this kind of thing. And so after I had a motorcycle accident, I was in the hospital. One of
Malcolm, you have
my
the craziest story. We're not even through it yet.
one of my younger sons, the father, of one of the classmates of my younger son at an international school. He's a doctor. He came to visit me and look at my X-rays and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I was telling him about this story that I had written, and he said, "Well, why don't you turn it into a screenplay?" My
Mm.
mother is a script supervisor. She's worked with Spielberg and all this. Dropped a bunch of names. I looked her up and I couldn't find her, so I don't know if it's true or not. But he was so I worked with her for a little bit, and I wrote a screenplay of Ronin Camera, which is about a freelance photographer in
Mm.
Tokyo, and he has a run-in with the yakuza, and his he's involved in with girls and blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
that led to me writing screenplays. And so for Dog Eaters,
Mhm.
I continued to write in the screenplay format. I
Yes.
stopped writing novels. And Dog Eaters won 3 awards at the Screen Expo, Screenwriting Expo in LA.
Congratulations. That's exciting. When did that
Two,
happen?
2008, possibly,
Yeah.
something like that. So we're talking quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And this is a time right before subprime. So what we had
Yes,
was we
that's
had a
right.
lot of free money, a lot of European money was coming in, and movies were getting made that were like, why
Mhm.
are you making this? It's because we have money, or
Mhm.
fake money, really. It's not real money, it's numbers in a computer.
Right.
But so one of the awards was to get representation, uh, which comes and goes so quickly in Hollywood. It's like if
Yes.
you don't make it in the first week,
Yeah.
they're on
Yep.
to the next. Um, Also, best action and adventure, and also I got the adaptation
Gee.
to make six singles and have it compiled at the end into a graphic novel. And that was through the Dable brothers, which
Mm.
was big pre Game of Thrones, because what they did
Yeah.
was
Okay.
their claim to fame was they adapted George R. R. Martin's Hedge Knight into a graphic novel, which is a big indie hit.
I
Um,
haven't I didn't even know. I'll have to get it. I love Game of Thrones.
if it's still in print. But
Yeah.
anyways, that was really big, and they started doing adaptations. They had tried to do their own things as independents, but it's so hard to do
It's
independent.
so
So
hard.
what they did was they licensed uh, titles from Dean Koontz,
Okay.
people like Orson Scott Card,
Okay.
and this is how they made their name. And so they had a lot of authors like, asking to be adapted by them. So it was kind of good for them.
So
However,
it was novels being adapted to graphic novel? Am I
yes,
understanding that
novels like,
correctly?
like Dean Koontz or
Yeah.
Orson Scott Card,
Yeah.
these are notable art
Uh-huh.
authors,
Like Ender's Game, and I've read so many Dean Koons, you could just pick one. Bad Place, blah, 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 blah.
right,
They have a
right,
ton there's a
right.
ton of good Dean
So
Koons.
they did some of that stuff, and but what they were very charismatic. They're Haitian. The parents came from
Yeah?
Haiti rather,
From
excuse me,
Haiti? Yeah.
and Haiti, and they're Haitian, East Coast, Boston, and then Georgia. But what very very charismatic Christians.
Okay.
I'll say that, in a way that made you trust them, and
Uh-oh.
but very very bad at paying people, and this
Oh,
is
no.
famous. So anyway, I ended up. I mean, they went through a bunch of people, bunch of artists, bunch of publishers: Marvel, Del Rey, Dynamite, Sea Lion, and I was there from the very beginning, and then I took it independent, Media 111, and Antarctica, which is a
Yes.
legitimate Texas publisher.
Yep.
And I ended up producing it myself,
Mm.
and it's 200 pages, full color,
Ah,
glossy, looks great.
awesome.
Check it out.
There's that saying though, right? If you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah. So it's a labor of love,
Yeah.
and I continue to write in the post-apocalyptic theme. I've another award-winning #1 first place is called Sacred Profanity. This one story prose
Okay.
first place in dystopian balkanized America. A journalist investigating the assassination of a charismatic spiritual teacher must elude the death squads of both the UN peacekeepers and the divine faith
The
to
cult
find
coming
and
to get him.
reveal the truth and witness the resurrection.
Oh
So
my
this
God, I'm
so
sold.
this is something that's also adaptable, of course. Actually, Lance Lucero, who is the also an
Mhm.
NE1 World
Yes.
author, he adapted it. So there's a
Oh, did
script.
he?
There's a script for it
That's
ready,
so
for
cool.
art.
He
But I
does
mean,
great work.
you
Um,
need like, well, I could, I could either pay $50,000 and make art, or I could do an AI.
please don't. Please don't.
So I'll have 3 arms and 6
Yeah,
fingers.
seriously, like, why does this
But
person
then
have
it's
2
becomes
eyes?
science fiction.
I
So
mean,
it's
it
science
is
fiction story.
apocalypse fiction. We could make them look like anything at this point, right?
But dog eaters, the log line for dog eaters is
Yeah.
mankind failed to transcend the petroleum age.
Yeah.
175 years after the die-off, civilization consists of isolated casino cities, nomadic clans, and roving swarms of predatory bandits. So basically, it's a story of, it's got, it's Mad Max vibes. It's got notes of Mad Max. It's got, but also notes of Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, I don't believe you when you say that.
It's a family story because it's a clan. There's a clan. There's a uh, Lamont Black Dog is the leader of his clan,
Yeah.
and he has a family. He has 2 children that have survived, Tommy and Tracy, and they lead a clan. It's an armored caravan that is traveling between the casino cities on
Cool.
their way to establish their own casino city on the Gulf. Because what's happened is 175 years after the die-off,
Well, hold on here. What is the
civilization is starting
die-off?
to, what's that?
Can you explain to me what the die-off is?
The die-off is some calamity in the past that we don't really. I mean, 175 years is a long
Okay,
time
yeah, yeah. I was like,
without
don't spoil it, but
without
I was just curious if
social media and the internet. Who knows what happened back then? All we know is, seriously, how much
something big happened, a lot of people died. We'll just leave
something
it
big
at that.
happened.
Right.
And what in the
So they're going to
screenplay,
the
actually, we
Gulf.
do allude to the fact that you know, Tommy is the older brother telling Tracy, the younger sister, like, oh, you think you're so, you think, it's great to be smart. Those smart people, the people that destroyed the world 175 years ago. And so what we've got is, after 175 years, civilization is starting to come back.
Mm.
And so it has been, again, a second coming of a wild, wild west. But as the wild, wild west period, when you look at the wild, wild west, it's actually very, very short. It's
Mhm.
not, it's like a few years before the Civil War and a few years after, and that's it. After they killed
Mhm.
all the buffalo and then all the bankers and the lawyers, they're the ones that settled the wild, wild west.
This is
They're the
the
ones that
truth.
pacified it. All the
And,
school
like, the people
teachers.
going out for the gold rush. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and it's very short. So what we're seeing is, again, people are, it's coming into communities, and but so it's that turning point where you're going from just, Comanches, you know,
Yeah,
pillaging and raping and looting your house
right.
to, like, bankers on the street with lawyers
Yep, yep. Yeah,
protecting them.
and it can happen so fast.
Yeah, it can happen fast. I
Mhm.
mean, we were talking earlier about Sora AI. It's text to video. It's like amazing. I mean, you can if you just look that up, it's
I'm
frightening.
terrified of that. We were talking about
Frightening.
that before the
The
show,
political
and
implications
so scary.
is just crazy. It's like, what is true? You can't
Right.
believe your eyes.
You can't?
Yeah. That's why illustration is the
Yeah.
truth.
Yep. Because it's meant to be there. We put it there for a reason, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's intentional,
so
but it's
dog
all
eaters,
intentional.
dog eaters, you wrote back in what year?
I started writing it, early celebrity. So it's the time of Lindsay Lohan and people like that, Paris Hilton,
Okay.
and just speculating what happens, with when this stuff starts to go really, really bad, which is what we're seeing now, actually.
That's what I'm trying to get my head around is when did you write it? And all of a sudden now we're kind of like catching up to where where it's
I know,
starting
and it's
is
gonna pass me
terrifying.
soon. Time is gonna pass me by, man.
No, there's so many NE1 creators that write an apocalypse series, and I'm one of them. And the more things that we tick off, like, yep, this is happening in our, we wrote this in our book years ago and it's happening now. It scares the crap out of me. It's
Like
scary.
in the preface, I had a thought that led to a few words, which became a few sentences. I started to write dog eaters
Yeah.
at a time when I was totally disgusted with what was going on in the USA, the relentless preoccupation with celebrity,
Yes.
the political incompetence, the needless forever wars, arrogance and ignorance at the highest levels, elite one percenters getting richer and thinner, while average Americans got poorer and fatter, and everyone self-medicating on drugs, alcohol, and empty calorie entertainment, figuratively fiddling away while Rome burns. So I
And I
wrote
don't
this in the
think
early
things have gotten
2000s,
better.
and it's the same and worse, but
It's the
worse.
same and worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the inspiration for this came out. So what would
Yeah.
happen when this all goes bad? And so it all goes bad. There's a die off, and 175 years later, this is the saga of the Black Dog Clan, basically.
Well, I'm sold. I love apocalypse fiction. I love westerns. That's where my head lives anyways with my own series. So I feel like you and I have just become best friends.
Oh,
Why not?
great.
Like, I can't wait. I can't wait to read Dog Eaters. Before we go any further, I think this is a great spot to mention that the people that are watching, if you have a story inside you like Malcolm does, and you are dying to tell the world, please bring your story to NE1 World. We have a wonderful team. We have a wonderful crew. You can come on the show and be interviewed by yours truly. But here's a quick video with the pipes of Morgan Quaid to tell you how to do that.
If you're an indie creator looking for a home for your comic book, graphic novel, short story collection, or novel, then you've come to the right place. NE1 World is a full-service publisher and distributor which can take your creator-owned project and showcase it to the world. We offer two primary distribution channels: digital distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore; digital and print distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore and distribute through physical bookstores across the UK, USA, and Canada. In addition to distribution, NE1 World can also work with you to publish your book. We'll publish your book digitally, helping you source artists, edit, format, and publish your book in digital format. Digital and print. We'll publish your book digitally and produce and distribute print copies of your work. Digital, print, and merch. We'll publish digital and print copies of your book and then work with you to design or distribute products and add-ons such as t-shirts, posters, and more. On top of all of this, we can offer additional paid services where required, specifically cover design, editing, and formatting. Unlike many traditional publishers, NE1 World gives indie creators maximum control and flexibility over publishing and distribution. So if you're looking to partner with us to distribute existing books or publish something new, read carefully through the information below and fill out a submission form.
And that, my friends, is how you become part of the NE1 World family with Mr. Malcolm Wong and myself. Bring your story. We're hopping, we're popping. We got lots going on. This is the part of the show where I take everybody to NE1world.com, and we are going to show you all the cool stuff that's popping. So Russ 5377 just dropped their 25th anniversary graphic novel, which is crazy. Congratulations, George Medina. This looks beautiful. When I saw the cover, I was blown away. So there's some really good stuff on here. Gig has just relaunched. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Gig, it's a great networking. It's a list of creators, podcasters, editors, artists, you name it, writers. There's a ton of people. Myself, I'm included on the list for Gig as well. So it's a great tool if you're looking for somebody to fill in the gap. You need someone to edit. You need podcasts to go on. This is the list, my friends. And I love how it's all in one place. So NE1 and Gig were separate, and now they're together. So make sure that you shop around. You can scroll through here. We got all sorts of new things that are coming now available that was up and coming soon. There's just a lot to do. But for today, I want to remind you that we have these blue buttons, and this is how you're going to find Malcolm's collection. So you're going to go over to search by creator and click on there, and that takes you to this lovely page, the NE1 World. Welcome to our creator collections. So this is where you can see collections by name of the creator. This keeps growing and growing and growing. And Malcolm Wong is all the way at the bottom because he was one of the first ones in the door. So here is the collection, Dog Eaters collection. And now again, it's issues 1 through 6. There is the paperback graphic novel, but there's also the digital download for the graphic novel, which is super cool, and some t-shirts. So we even got some merch on here. So beautiful. I want to click on show off some of this art. Who is your art team on this one? Are they was it the same art team for all 6 and put it together for the novel? No, it was all over the place. That's kind of what you said with
there was the main artist is Guy Angel.
Okay. And he does pencils and inks, and someone else does the color, or?
We had initially, when I was with Dable Brothers, we had some Glass House Graphics colorists, and Glass House Graphics is a top of the line, I would say representative agency, I guess, for artists.
Yeah.
They do a lot of, the best. They do the best, DC, Marvel, whatever. And they also have, independent, if you can afford it. What really annoys them is when say, I have this project. He goes, here's my budget, $50, that kind of thing. That annoys the hell out of them. But they and Glasshouse Graphics again, Dave Campiti. He's another guy that has been stiffed by Dable Brothers. So but he's still in business. So obviously he's doing it. It's been 20, 25, 30 years of him doing it. A lot of artists from like South America, Philippines.
Yeah.
These are very, very good artists. Work kind of in a hybrid style, manga anime with Western, kind of influence as well. So it's very interesting, what they do. So a couple of guys did the first 2 or 3. Let me see. Let me just check the credits here. We had lettering. A guy doing lettering. Bill Tortellini, who has since passed. And then from issue 4, Guy did everything. But he had a colorist too. He had a colorist that helped him on 4. Yeah, and then he finished everything. And then the book design is by Dave Lamphere, who's also kind of a veteran.
Yeah, I can definitely see the manga influence on the covers, the characters, the hairstyles, but even just like, look at this guy. He's terrifying, but is he cool. Like some of these outfits are just amazing, like totally Mad Max, dystopian future, tattoos on the scalp. I love it. Like, this is all super cool. I love that she has a puppy. I don't see him in this one, but she has a little dog that goes around with her.
Mr. Fluffy.
Mr. Fluffy?
Yep, there it is on 3.
Yeah, I saw him on that. Look, he's so cute. His name is Mr. Fluffy.
Yeah.
I love him.
So the whole, dog eaters thing,
That's a problem for
Korean,
Mr.
Philippines,
Fluffy.
whatever, but what it is that bovine encephalitis, mad cow disease, has taken much of the hooved population and, away. And so what you have is sort of an Australian dingo situation going on where the dogs are feral,
Yeah.
very vicious, but they're also Mr. Fluffy.
He's super cute. I was like, ooh, I like her. This is our main. This is the brother and sister duo, I'm assuming. Yes.
No,
this is Tracy.
that's the boy. That becomes the
Oh,
boyfriend.
this is the
That's
boyfriend.
Bevan. Yeah, he is actually what happens is issue 1 opens with an ambush that has been triggered by Bevan. The roaches are actually waiting for the Black Dog clan, but he triggers the ambush and he's wounded and he's taken in reluctantly by Lamont, who's this patriarchal, toxic, masculine, which you have to be kind of in a, in an apocalyptic
to be a warlord in the apocalypse.
You can't be,
nice.
You can't be too sensitive, let's say.
Yeah.
To survive this apocalypse,
Right.
So anyway, and that is one of the subplots is this relationship, and also the father's relationship with the family and the clan. And so that's why I say, it's a family story. It really is.
I still laugh when you say that because it's like, really?
Yeah,
look at this cover, you guys. Look at this. Look, I like look, what's the technique called with the dot, not pixel.
Yes, the Binet dot thing. It's kind of like a
there's a name.
Well, Liechtenstein, he ripped off the comics and did that.
So yeah, I was like, there's a name for it though, and I forget what it is because I'm not the artist in my. What is it?
Halftone.
Thank you, halftone. Yep, that I think is so cool. Yeah, because I mean, like if you look in the background, it's not there. You still see the apocalypse in the background, but she has that halftone, which is super cool. It's paying homage,
And for the male reader,
yes,
there's some pinups in the book as well.
Oh,
let me just show you.
Here, let me make you big.
Angie.
Dun, 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 dun. She's super cute.
Angie, I won't give it away.
No spoilers.
And then there's in one of the casino towns. Well, the cover of issue 2.
Yeah. I was like, this is the casino one for sure. Yeah. Because look, she's got her poker chips and cards and coming out. Is this the brother or is this the boyfriend?
That's the brother. That's Tommy. Yeah.
This is the brother. And then who's this guy in the background?
What's that?
This gentleman with the westernly hat and looks like vampire.
Bronco is the he's kind of a civilized roach who's taken over one of the casino towns.
Okay.
So the roaches are interesting characters because they are survivors from the maximum security prisons. The maximum security prisons, the descendants of these prisoners, and the reason why they survived, of course, is because of the very thick walls and how impenetrable these things are. It's like a bunker. These prisons are like bunkers. So what happened was the ones that survived both the external violence and, of course, prisons also have internal violence.
Right.
They come out. Anyone that comes out of that is
It's
super
scary.
cunning, super crafty, and physically strong.
Probably a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely, without a doubt. These guys are tough.
Scary.
And so this is Tracy after
Let's see.
she grows a bit older.
Yeah. Is that a motorcycle?
Yes, it is. It's a two-wheeled vehicle.
Reminds me of Akira. So cool. This checks all the boxes, man, for me. I love Mad Max. I love any kind of, apocalypse fiction, Western fiction. This is just right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to reading this for myself.
This was written before Fury Road too. So
yeah, that's the thing. As I was gonna say, like, that's not fair.
I know the future just is a way of catching up with me. It's
Yeah.
before you know it, the future will see me in the grave.
Oh, let's not say that. And I don't want like present day to catch up to your story either.
We are biological creatures. Okay, well, here's one that I'm waiting for the future to catch up with me, because this is what I'm writing now.
Yes.
It's called the prompt casters.
Okay. Tell us more.
Of course, prompt casting and prompt crafting is what AI is all about. You have to tell it what to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So basically what we have is, here's the log line for this. It's a screenplay. It's written in a screenplay format.
Okay.
Diverse, odd couple, ex-military personnel, and an AI side piece command a high-tech surveillance pod that monitors the personal data of influential social and political movers and shakers to apply socio-political leverage to maintain the official narrative. Then the AI got smart.
Oh no. This is like where we are right now.
Exactly. So I'm waiting for
AI to
with Trump and Biden and any third party. There's an RFK-ish candidate, the character in this. Waiting to see how that. But it's not gonna mirror it. It's gonna be
your version of
not a version. It's not a version of reality. It's alternative. Contemporary alternative now. Because we
terrifying, Malcolm. It's everything about right now scares me. Like, I live in Texas. Y'all know that it's kind of crazy here right now with politics and everything that's been going on. So it's like anytime that's like AI related or political related is scary. It should just end up in either the nonfiction or horror section. I don't know. Which one would you put that in? Like, gosh.
I tell you, you mix AI with politics and media,
we're in big trouble.
Big trouble. The reality is whatever you think it is. Because basically what my take on this election cycle is that everything is based on Trump. And what Trump is merely the screen that the left projects their deepest fears and the right projects their greatest hopes on this figure.
Yeah.
He's a screen that we project whatever we think on him, and then it's pulling us apart. He's an amazing character. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, there's nobody like him, so
I agree. For whatever people think of Trump, he is just at the center of all of this, which is
center of all of it. Yeah. He's the fulcrum. So what happens is now he's there. Oh, you got to pay $350-60 million for fraud or whatever.
Right. To New City.
And then you've got people rebelling against that, like truckers. Oh, we're not going to bring food into New York. Oh, we're not going to bring food. We're not going to make deliveries in New York. What's going to happen to New York? That's how crazy. Now, if you take it a step further, we're going to put you in prison. Oh, You think people are just going to sit?
No.
That's absolutely nuts. So it's
And so you're
the
writing
promptcasters,
this
DMing for the
screenplay?
promptcasters. It's going to be great.
Oh my God. Malcolm is like, this is great material. I'm just going to write down.
And I have my own take on it, of course, because my AI is starts off as my AI is called Egghead.
Okay.
Starts off without an avatar, becomes an egg with eyes and a mouth that almost in sync, and then turns into this beautiful entity that can shapeshift. So, and then of course, you can fall in love with it. Of course, I mean, we've seen that already with She and this and blah blah blah. So obviously, but
can the AI love back?
We'll see, because you can prompt it.
Read to find out, people. You got to read to find out. When is this story dropping?
Well, first we have to finish 2024.
Yeah. Like I need to see what happens, right? But that would be interesting read. What else are you working on? You have other projects you're going to drop on us? Are you going to be at Comic-Cons? Where are you making appearances? Like what else is on your calendar for 2024 besides writing down the political disaster that is the United States?
Well, next month I'm going to be doing some farming, actually.
What?
We have a aquaponics farm.
Oh, that's cool.
On Maui.
Where?
On Maui, Hawaii.
Is it still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And this is my it's kind of like a virtue signaling of self-sustaining, self-efficient thing when 2024 ends. It's aquaponics it's aqua farming with hydroponics. So the fecal material of the fish creates with the bacteria, with beneficial bacteria, creates a nitrogen thing, and it you can grow plants on rafts. And this is actually what the Aztecs did in in their capital. They had the floating gardens on river on the lake. So basically it's rafts with leafy materials growing out of it, fed by the fish poop, and it cycles. So you have basically it's just one pump. It's air blowers to oxygenate the water, because fish need it, and also the plants need oxygen as well.
Yeah.
And so you can does best with leafy vegetables, and we have things in the ground as well, like fruits and also some vegetables and chickens as well there. And of course I'm not there most of the time, so we have some volunteers, and we have sort of a caretaker, and it's a community effort. So I'll be doing that
next month. You're gonna go for a visit. What
not for a visit, it's work, man. I don't hit the beach at all.
You're like, it's not a vacation, Laurie.
It's actually I do some intermittent fasting there. So what it is with coffee and CBD, THC infused coconut oil and coffee, and I'll take that in the morning with some green juicing, and because I tell you I'm old, but I have to maintain health, so that's how I do it.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I would assume that you have to maintain health.
Absolutely.
That's a great way to do
it. We are organic material,
Yes,
and
we are.
Organic material, in the end, it decays.
It goes back to being organic material. Feed something else.
That's right.
So that's exciting. So then you have that to do, and then you're writing your script. Anything else on the
Well, I just my solo exhibition of blown glass just finished a couple weeks ago.
What? People, follow Malcolm Wong, Renaissance man,
Not that
writer, glass blower, farmer,
interesting.
musician. Are you a musician as well?
Yes. You
Oh my
can check out music at Cloud Hands Project on Bandcamp.
Oh my gosh. What do you play? Or do you sing?
I do everything except the hard parts.
Excuse me?
I do everything except the hard
Elaborate.
parts. So there's sax and guitar solos that I do not do, but I do everything else. So I'll send you a link to that, Laurie.
Yeah, I was like, you still haven't told me what you do. You're like, I don't do sax and I don't do guitar solos. I do, but what?
I do the rest.
You drum, you sing, you guitar, you play
Well,
bass. You do all of those
it's a
things.
laptop, it's a guitar, it's a mic, basically, and then it's everything else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you sleep, Malcolm Wong?
Yes.
Like
7 hours a night.
How? When you do all of these things?
You do it. Well, you do it all at once, I guess. Sort of.
Oh.
Yeah. If you put in an hour here and an hour there on everything,
Yeah, I guess you just have to rotate through all the good stuff. Well, as we wrap up the show, would you be so kind to share your socials? I know you mentioned like you're not on a lot of time, but are you on some socials where people can follow you?
Yeah, I have an Instagram.
Is it at Malcolm Wong?
Maybe Black Dog Clan.
Black Dog?
Also Black Dog Clan, and also Cloud Hand Projects. There's a neglected profile on LinkedIn. There's a website.
Ooh.
dogeaters-manga.com.
All right. There you go.
I'll send you those.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say, send those to me.
What else is there? That's about it. I mean, I do comment on X every once in a while, but it's nothing to do with.
I just make comments and nobody looks at them. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Until you get so famous that they'll dig it up and they'll cancel you.
Like, oh yeah, you said this one time. Cancel.
What did you say?
Like, I don't even remember saying that. What are you talking about?
But it's documented.
Oh Lord. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We're going to have a great show again next week. Make sure you tune in, like and subscribe the ASAP Imagination channel. And anytime that anyone is live or recorded, feel free to stop in and see what's popping in indie comics. Mr. Malcolm Wong, Renaissance man, the most interesting man on the planet. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate you working through the time difference so we can have you on the show. We were like, is it this time? Is it this time? Is it this time? And I had to like Google it twice to make sure.
You can do it. You can do it on your phone too.
Yeah, I did.
World clocks. Yeah. Take advantage of this technology.
Absolutely. But thank you again. And we'll see you all next week. Make sure you tune in and make sure you go follow him, Malcolm Wong. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much, Laurie.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.